All right, I got another story time. This woman has a dad who is the African George. She says, "Hi, I'm one of your followers and I have a tale for you. It's about my dad, who is basically the African George, just as Dusty. He's king of the Sahara, as many men are." She says, "The story basically starts with my dad meeting my mom. My dad is 8 years older than my mom. He met her when she was 16, and he was already done with his studying in 1996. So basically, he knew getting her pregnant was wrong. He got her pregnant. She gave birth in 1997 when she was 17. Now, my dad's parents died when he was young, so he was raised by my grandma, my great grandmother. He came to Nairobi, Kenya, to be raised by his uncle, who was my grandfather's friend. Instead, he decided to do it with the daughter of the man who helped pay his fees. So my dad was told he wouldn't get snitched on to the police on the condition he raised that child, my older brother, so he did. My dad originally had a good job in the bank that he quit because he didn't feel like doing it anymore. So he went ahead and bought a bar with his friend. Amazingly, his friend was nothing like him. Anyway, he bought the bar and started selling liquor and the like. Now, here's where the dusty part comes in. My dad had gone to Sudan for some time before the war. I was young, very young, so I don't remember a lot, but I remember things being bad. We had no money. None at all. He didn't send any money home, so my mom had to look for money on her own. She didn't finish school and had no work experience, so she had to do odd jobs here and there to feed me and my older brother. I got kicked out of school a couple of times, but the principal was kind. She used to give my mom time to pull together money. Free education had not been introduced to my country then. The man knew we had no money and never sent a dime. But at the time, we believed him when he said he had none because the situation was bad. A few months later, he comes back. I don't remember this man, and he's not friendly with anyone. A few months set in, and my parents have an argument, and you might ask about what? What? Well, I'll tell you. My brother's shoes hadn't been polished, so his solution was to smack my mom across the face in front of us. I will never forget how scared I was. So I went and snitched on him to my grandparents, and he never did it again in front of us. He decided to do it in secret. DV is very normalized in my country, so going to the police is very futile. For a lot of women in my tribe, at least getting even is the status quo. If he beats you, you beat him too. He'll smack you, but at least you'll get a lick. It's not healthy, but it works sometimes. Anyway, so I was saying, I snitched. He became a DV ninja. So I'm in the fourth grade. I need to go to a better school. So I do an interview and I pass. He says he has no money, and my aunt and grandpa gather resources and pay for it. He pretends he paid for it and never even says thank you. In grade six, my mom decides to get a job, and he is not happy about it. Mind you, this happens after he refuses to give me money for funds for even basic necessities. She lucks out and gets a job, and now I start to realize things about my dad. I start to notice he isn't as great as he thinks he is. Sounds like this woman, and this is where she ends it. So, sounds like she does still have a few tales to get off of her chest. And I will see if she does, in fact, let us know a little bit more about this king of the Sahara, the king of the dustiness. So, I will let you know. But for right now, this is where she left it. You guys go ahead and chime in. So a woman reached out to me on my Instagram to share a story time of how she was dating this man for a short period of time and how he put it on her to the point where she was like out of her mind for just a short time. She says, "I enjoy your content and I appreciate all your help in enlightening women. I met a man at a bar. We talked and exchanged numbers, and from there we were inseparable. We didn't begin dating until 2 months after. He seemed stable, had 3 cars, 2 motorcycles, and a home. He was retired ex military, or so I believed. Shortly after we began dating, things got hairy. He was overly involved with his motorcycle club and began making excuses for out of norm behavior. Things like being out all night or out of town. He was extremely communicative or seemed genuine, so I tried to be understanding. As I began doing research on this club, it turns out they were, and here's the name of the club, and she wanted me to black that out, but they were all called blank. This blank club that breaks the law. By this point, he was all that I could think about. We were heavily involved. We had just began being physical. And aside from the motorcycle club, things seemed to be going well. I found out shortly after through a friend's friend that this was in motorcycle circles, that they were into witchcraft and were putting roots on women in order to absorb their energy and cipher money from them. Although I found this hard to believe during this time, he stopped paying for dates and began asking for money and wanting to go on trips. I found out through a private conversation he bragged about putting a love spell on me. My mind was in a fog, and although I didn't give any substantial money to the situation, I couldn't see my way out of it. He was telling me strange things at this point about how they have women supporting the club with dubious acts and how they were into illegal activity. By this point, I knew I had to break free. But finding out how dangerous this pack of men were, I knew I had to be strategic. I waited for him to show his butt one night when he was drunk and at the motor club. The day I broke up with him, with it's not you, it's me excuse, in an attempt to dislodge myself with harmlessly hung up the phone. He constantly recalled me accusing him of having someone else. I never responded. And then the call slowly disappeared. Him and his friends proceeded to gang stalk me for months. They finally gave up and left me alone. I'm so thankful to have dodged this bullet, as they currently have some charges pending in this state that she wanted me to black out. So they have these charges pending, and this happened shortly after they broke up. She says, I am told they let women take the fall for miscellaneous crimes. I don't generally hang out with this type of man. I am a quiet and introverted, and then she put her profession. So this man and this gang has women taking the rap for them. It is a motorcycle gang, and there's plenty. So me saying that doesn't really give anything away. But ladies, stay away from these motorcycle gangs. They have, if they will let you take the rap and save themselves, they will certainly do that. I asked her if I can use this. She said, yeah, sure. She says, it's sad, really. Just a bunch of fatherless men with no direction being toxic as hell. She says, I don't date a lot or seek validation from people I have dated, really. But he really had me fooled until his mask began to slip. Before him, I didn't know anything about motorcycle clubs. And apparently, they are pretty tight lipped, because I haven't been seeing a lot of research I did during and after I ended it. The relationship only lasted 6 months total. So at least this woman got away unscathed, which is good. So she wanted me to share that with y'all. So that is what I'm doing. If you have any, commentary or any experiences with this type of gang, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. A couple of people tagged me in this story. This woman came out strong saying, I'm dating a broke guy and it sucks. And then she goes on to explain what it's like to date a broke man. She has a whole story time, and if you're on TikTok, just click into the caption. I'm just going to embed her videos, but y'all have got to hear this story. And this is the perfect time to highlight that I am selling a book called Ashy Men Will Make You Fat, a petty self-help guide. Dealing with someone who is broke will increase your stress levels, which can increase cortisol, which can impact your health overall. If your finances are taking a hit because you are supporting a broke man, that can impact your mental health, your physical health, your financial health, all that. Don't date a broke man. All right, now let's get back to this story. So, like I said, she's letting us know how it sucks to date a broke man, how she has to pay for these dates and all of that.
I'm dating a broke guy, and it really, really sucks because he has the best personality, hands down. I have so much fun with him, but it's like it's gotten to the point where right now I'm not doing as financially well as I normally do. So in the past, like we have taken trips, but I've paid for the trips, I've paid for the hotel, I've paid for the rental of the car. If we've been to concerts, I've paid for the tickets. He does what he can when he can, but he doesn't do enough. You know what I'm saying? But he does what he can when he can. But it's gotten to the point where it definitely sucks because I'm not doing as well financially. I can't afford to do things for two people. I can't even afford to do things just myself right now. So, because I can't afford to do things for two, we actually don't do anything. We haven't done anything. Like, if I'm being for real, for honest, like in September, for my birthday month, he does celebrate me around those times though. He does celebrate me around the holidays. He does celebrate me around my birthday. But yeah, it's been October, November, December, January. So for the past 4 months, me and him, we just been like sitting ducks. And yeah, it sucks. Like, it's crazy because I don't think, like, I feel like females come on online and talk about, like, look what he bought me, look what he got me, look at where he took me. It's like the ones that are dating the broke men, we don't talk about it. But it's like, no, I mean, I don't know, there has to be like a conversation about it. And it really sucks because I feel like it's kind of getting to the point where if I'm not the breadwinner, or if I don't somehow make my life lead me up to making income for two, I don't think that I'm gonna be able to be with this person. And it just really sucks because like I said, he has like the best personality hands down. So I'm on here to ask, what do I do? And don't be too cold, like don't be too rude, you know what I'm saying? Because I had my narcissist ex-boyfriend who made way more money than I did, and that wasn't the answer. Like, so it's like, where is the common ground? Like, and obviously I do have a little bit of fear, like if I stay with him during this whole time and I continue to help out, is he gonna just walk away when he does better? It's just it's so scary. It's so crazy because it's like I really really like him, and I really 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 like don't want to like not be with him, but at the same time too, like I'm too effing old to do this shit. Like, I've already spun around this block a few times. Like,
This video got a lot of people talking. It has over 29,000 comments. This person says, ma'am, break up with him before you end up pregnant. Yes, broke men have some very, very fertile sperm, is very strong. They know that they are swimming for survival's sake. Please don't let a broke man get you pregnant. This person says, you're a prisoner. You've been kidnapped by a broke man. Sprinkle, sprinkle. This next person says, you need to go see some videos of that one sprinkle, sprinkle lady. Stacia says dating a broke man isn't the problem. His lack of wanting to better himself for you is concerning. No effort speaks volumes. And no effort on her own part to just walk away from this until he gets himself together is also a problem. Another one saying go watch some sprinkle sprinkle. This person says my man was listening and said he got a great personality because he got no bills. She does explain that he does work, and maybe in another video. This person says he should be dating the Indeed app. And that made me chuckle on the inside. This person says, I was dating a broke man as well with a great personality. I broke up because if I'm able to work multiple jobs, he should be able to as well. This person says, help a man through his rough times and watch him leave you at his best. Absolutely. No more Barbara the Builders. No more Barbara the Builders. This person says, so you're the boyfriend, but in the middle made me chuckle. The FBI could not get this information out of me. And then lastly, Imani says, honestly, no one should be dating when they're broke. Absolutely. I know people are always going to be on tough times, but being broke and barely able to take care of your own basic needs, why are you bringing someone else into that fold? Now, I do understand that sometimes you're already in a relationship and hard times happen. How are you going to work through that? That's one thing. But being in the dating phase, absolutely not. Absolutely. And then on the very same day, this very same woman talks about how she broke up with her narcissistic ex. And then she has a whole nother story time. I'll embed that in the caption if you are interested in hearing this story. Same day, you could tell it's the exact same shirt. So she has another story time.
Yo, I'm cracking the fuck up. This was literally me like 2 years ago. I walked in on my ex with somebody else on our bed. Like literally my lashes right next to the bed, like on the nightstand, my pink bathrobes behind the door. Like, so I don't know who was worse, like her or him. Like I didn't know who to be more mad at, because if I was a girl and I walked into a space and I saw another girl's stuff, I would never, like, I'd be like, what is, like, I would leave. But whatever, maybe she was like desperate for some attention too. But it's so crazy to me how like men will literally like do all these things, and then like my ex like cry and beg for forgiveness. And basically one of the things that I found out a few months down the road, because I went through his laptop, was that he told me this happened like whatever year that was, around November. And he told me it was a one-time thing. He had never done anything like that prior. And I believed him. But when I went through his laptop, I went obviously all the way back to that November to see what he was really doing, what he was thinking, who he was talking to. And in the beginning of November of that year, I got a promotion. I got a good job because he always made more money than me. So my dumb ass thought that, oh, maybe, you know, I think that because he's such a high quality man, that I should really try to step it up in my life and become somebody better. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm better and he's good where he's at, we can be even stronger. So I go ahead and I get a promotion. I get a better job. I'm going to make more money. That same day, I'm not even kidding, that same day that I had my first day at the new job, he had asked this like girl. So at our jobs, we have like the ranking. So I was here, about to go up over here. He's like up here. He asked the girl all the way down here for her number. And that was like in the beginning of November. And he started from that point forward talking to her every single day, to the point where he had bought a record player and he had bought like a furniture to put the record player on. All of a sudden, like records were his thing. Like we were looking for records. I would go with him to look for records. And when I read the text messages, it was literally her. Like he had got that from her and had passed it off to me as his own interest. It's just so crazy to me that on the day that I start my new job, to be better for him, to be a better woman for him, that's the day he decides that he's gonna do me dirt like that. So that was one girl. And then the girl that I walked in on him in our bed was another girl. But like I said, in the moment when I walked in on him in our bed with another girl, he just swore up and down that it was a one-time thing. And me, like a silly little goose that I am, I believed him. He said like, I'm just grieving, you know, because my grandma died and she had the same birthday as me. So like I'm missing my birthday twin, you know, all that shit that he said. So I was like, oh, you know what? We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Like, so it's okay. But it's like, no, bro, no. So if you're on the fence, I don't know, if your man is cheating, or if you're on the fence about something, like you're in a similar situation, there's never just one. It's never just a one-time thing. And it's so crazy because my ex, like, the first Christmas we were together, he bought me Fashion Nova. So I cried because I'm just kind of bougie. So I cried. And then the second time that we had a Christmas together, he didn't buy me anything. And then he said that he didn't buy me anything because the year before I had cried, so he was just traumatized. Okay, cool. So as I'm reading his text messages, he actually found this other girl in another state and he flew her out and like fine dined her. And mind you, I couldn't even get a Christmas gift, a birthday gift. Like when we went out, I had to split things in half. Like I had to help out. Like it's just like it's a lot. Like it's a lot. I really think back to like, it's almost like I have to remind myself what happened because he was such a good liar. Like, and I feel like that's why if you guys don't know the term narcissist, like you gotta be careful. You gotta watch out for the men who are narcissists because they will literally drive you crazy. I think during the span of that relationship, I gained 25 pounds. Another thing that happens when you're in a relationship with a narcissist is that you're always cleaning because they just, I forgot how it is. Like that's why watching these videos and learning about this is such a big deal. Like it's literally what saved my life, like realizing that it wasn't me, it was him. There was so much more things that happened during the course of the time that I was with him. I found somebody's sock and I was like, whose sock is this? And it was like a small Puma sock. And sorry for anyone who wears Puma socks, but I don't. Like it's like Nike or Stan socks. So he's like, it's yours. And I was like, bro, this ain't mine. It was like a dusty little white sock. Like I'm very particular with my socks. So I was like, this isn't mine. He's like, oh, it's probably my mom's. And I was like, bro, your mom is way taller than me. Her foot is way bigger than mine. No way this is your mom's. And he's like, oh, I don't know. So I'm like, okay, cool. Another time I found an earring and I was like, whose earring is this? And he was like, he got so defensive. He was like, you probably planted it there. You planted it there just to fight with me. Like like things got so out of hand that when I would clean our bedroom, he would get so angry. Like he'd be like, don't clean our bedroom. Don't clean the bedroom. You're just trying to fight with me. And I would be like, bro, there wouldn't be nothing to fight about if I wouldn't find things. But it's like every time I clean the bedroom, I find something to be mad about. But yeah, this is just, I don't know. If you're in a situation like I was, like, don't be as silly as me. Like, I was so silly, bro. Like, I literally believed him when he said that it was a one-time thing. I believed him when he said that he was grieving for his grandma. Like, because my grandma raised me, so my grandma means the world to me. Like, if she were to pass, I don't think I'd be the same person coming out of that. And just like, yeah, like it's so traumatizing, it's so scarring being with somebody like that because like I said, he picked up this hobby of the records and I was so happy for him, helping him find records, asking him about it all the time, trying to engage in his hobby. And the whole time it was literally because of the other girl. Like it's just so crazy to me. And yeah, it's just, there's a lot, there's like a lot. So just be careful out there. Sometimes like I think people like me, like just people in general, like women, men, like we want to assume the best, we want to think the best, but sometimes like some people really are that big of a butthole. So just, and yeah, like whew.
So then I guess the emotionals jump in the comments and act like she's the broke one or she's the one with the issues. And so she did a get dressed with me as I get ready for work. She's like, I got a job for all the men interested in hating on me and trying to play me as if I'm a 304. Thank you. She said she works for everything she has. And she did a whole story time explaining that she actually does work and she showed herself getting ready for work. And it looks like she works outside. This is a hard working woman. She works hard for her money and she's not trying to give it up for this man that she's dating that doesn't match her ambitions. Whew.